Hey everybody, so if you remember 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago now, we had a nasty windstorm, right? And we had some damage to some stuff at the farm. We had trees down at our house. Nothing major, too major. Anyway, we did have a pivot flip. We also had our leg get damaged. So today, they finally have both cranes and the equipment that they need to get the leg down. So we are over at the farm watching that process. And it's actually quite fascinating. The kids have been watching it for almost an hour now. We got 2 cranes. And one, they needed 2 because one has to actually hold the leg up, which is this one over here. And then the second one is actually attaching to each of the downspouts to pick them up and then move them. It's actually quite interesting the way they've been doing this. There's a guy at the top. Let's see if I can zoom in. You can kind of see him in orange. He's actually just up there undoing the stuff at the top. And then there's 2 guys in the bucket usually. One just hooked the strap on. The other one's actually down here on the bin getting that end unhooked. So yeah, it's quite the process. And I've just been picking them up with a crane, swinging them down, and laying them on the ground here. So we'll tune back in here when they're actually picking it up. But it's been very fun to watch. Once they get all the downspouts off, they will actually pick up the leg and lay the leg down. There's some damage to the top, but we're not 100% sure how much. So we'll have the insurance assessor out at that point to assess the rest of the damage and how bad it actually is at the top. We know the distributor is messed up. We know the leg itself is crooked. So yeah, we'll get a full assessment of how damaged it actually is here. Hopefully later today. If not, it'll be probably tomorrow when we get that assessment. Let's see. I think they're just about ready to go. Yep, they've got the second strap on now. I've got 2 dogs running around in the back called 2 children that think they're dogs at the moment. But they're actually... This is kind of a slow process, so sorry if you're wanting a quick view of this, but they've just about, there's 2 straps hanging off that crane. And they've got both straps secured now. It looks like the top is free. This one could be fun because it actually goes up through the floor, this auger does, of where the guy at the top of the leg is standing. I don't know if you can kind of see, it goes up through that floor. So getting this one done could be very fun to watch. They're also unhooking the guide wires as they go, which is again why they needed that second crane to hold the main leg up, because they have to unhook the guide wires to get the guide wires out of the way so they can get to some of these downspouts and get the downspouts out. So yeah. This one's taking more time. The last one they just hooked up and popped off fairly quickly. This is one of the downspouts, so that was actually damaged that they're working on, so that could be why it's taking longer. So the downspout on the opposite side of this, which is already down, it's this big silver one laying on the ground, is the one that actually got blown off. And it swung into some of these other downspouts when it blew off. But when it swung, it put the pressure, all of that pressure from the leg that was balanced, now came over to this bin that they're working on now, and that downspout. So they had to actually get stuff unhooked last week. Did you crash? Oh dear. I had to actually get stuff unhooked last week because it was putting enough pressure on the roof of this bin, it was going to cave the bin in. So that could have some damage to it as well. Not quite sure yet. Like I said, we'll know more when we get everything down. The actual leg of this, they're looking at, after we get it fixed, we'll be able to get it back up. Hopefully within a couple weeks, the actual leg, and we're actually going to turn these downspouts over. So these downspouts are fairly old. They're weak and thin on the underside, so they're actually going to flip them just to give them a little bit more life, so we don't have to replace them all right now. So yeah, we've got that going. We know there's stuff at the bottom of the leg we are going to fix while it's out, and then the top piece where it's called the distributor, the very, very, very top where that guy's standing, actually redirects the corn down to the different downspouts. That is wrecked, and that is going to be actually probably 8 to 10 weeks yet to get that in. So that's going to be pushing us right up against harvest. So it may be a creative harvest season as we try and fill these bins without the leg. Hopefully it comes in time and they can just put it back up and no problem. But we are trying to make plans of how to fill bins if we don't have the access to the leg. Some of these bins actually do still have white corn in them from last year, because we've been playing the game of waiting on the train, and we've actually had trains in the past 2 weeks we could have hauled to, but we haven't been able to use the leg, and we've had equipment sitting in the way trying to stabilize it and get stuff down enough. So we haven't been able to get the corn out of the bins. We can get it out easier than we can put it in, because each of these bins actually have an output auger on the outside. We can move an auger to and fill the trucks that way. But I thought they were just about ready. Maybe not. We've got Grandpa mowing and the kids barking at it. They've got 3, I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually 3 augers down here. 3 augers on the ground out of, I don't even know how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to come down. Yeah, this will be an all-day process. And we may come back this afternoon, we'll see, and see if the kids want to watch it again. We'll see how much they do. Alright, I'm going to tune out here, and then once they're actually moving the auger, I'll actually tune back in here for you.